Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another episode of Technical Vocabulary where we learn meaning and definition of several technical words. As a part of today's tutorial, we are talking about entry criteria. Now with that also comes exit criteria, but that we'll be covering in the next tutorial. When it comes to the entry criteria, it's basically a list of checklist, or I can call it as a checklist in fact, which consists of various criterion which can define that when to start a particular process or a phase or a particular stage. Now of course, entry criteria can be used at any point of time during the entire software development lifecycle. Now most of the time we know it from the testing point of view that for testing, starting testing lifecycle, we have entry criteria and exit criteria. But of course, entry and exit criteria are something which can be used at any point of time. Now, what exactly can happen? Of course, for design phases, we can have entry criteria. For the development phase, we can have entry criteria. For requirement gathering, we can have entry criteria. And within testing as well, we can have for each particular level, we can have entry criteria. So there are no restrictions that entry criteria is limited to a particular development model or particular phase or particular level. It can be used wherever you think you need a checklist to determine that when to start a process. Now let's come to the point. When you talk about entry criteria, what exactly it helps you with? Just as simple as that, like when you go for a trip, you do make a list of things to be carried along with you. Why do you make that? That is just to make sure that you do not forget anything back home before you leave for the trip. And that's where you make a particular list which will tell you from time to time that have you kept all these things which you want to carry along with you for your vacations. The same way here, entry criteria will determine that have you already decided or have you covered or have you done all these activities before you can start with this particular activity. For an example, as I'm talking about testing a lot here, let's take a testing entry criteria example. For example, we may have some of the entities within entry criteria as that is your environment built? Is your test data ready? Is your test cases prioritized? Is the test cases covering certain requirements? Is the traceability established? Is the data or the requirement which you have referred has been modified recently? Or the previous level of a particular module has been completed successfully? Now that's what are the things which you can include as a part of your entry criteria. Now entry criteria at the end will basically determine that if you have completed all the criterions listed in the exit criteria, you are good to start with a particular phase or particular activity within any particular lifecycle model. So keeping it quick and simple, we are talking about entry criteria today. I hope you got a good understanding of that, and that's all from this particular tutorial team. Should you have any other words with you, feel free to drop them in comment below. I would love to take them ahead and talk in one of our tutorials and discuss more about it. So till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video team and happy learning.